right, cool. So you can just start off by introducing yourself, and then
Come on now, work with me. Work with me. You got to give me something.
Well, I guess
when the first question you give me, I'll do all that for you.
Okay.
But just give me a question to let me go.
All right, let's talk about the camp. What I guess inspired you to do this camp, and what's going on with this? Because I see a lot of guys out there, a lot of young kids out there. So what inspired you?
I'm Deion Sanders, and what you're talking about is the Truth football camp.
Mm-hmm.
When you make our team, when you try for our team, coming to camp is mandatory for 5 weeks out of the 7 weeks in the summer, or 5 weeks out of the 8 that we have summer camp. What happens is you have ages 4 through 14 that actually plays on our team. 4, 5, and 6 play flag, 7 and 8 tackle, all the way through 14 with tackle. You have a day filled with activity, challenges, charges, and change. What I mean by that is 8:30, we give them a morning word, a morning inspiration. So we involve the Word of God every day, and just to inspire them and encourage them. 5 and 6-year-olds hit the field at 9 o'clock. At the same time, 7 and 8 are in football 101, where they're learning dynamics, what is behind the scene in football. 9 and 10 are in the classroom. They're getting educated, math, science, social studies, reading, and different subjects as well as English. 13 and 14, 11 and 12, they're doing conditioning and then life skills. Baseball, football, basketball, and cheerleading are going on simultaneously. So it's it's hundreds and hundreds of kids, man, and we feed them 3 times a day. We have 5 school buses, 2 vans. We pick them up from all over the Dallas Metroplex. So we're not just servicing the inner city, we're servicing the whole entire city.
Okay. Let's talk about what, if you had this during your, growing up. And your guys in your neighborhood, how different would it have been?
If I had this organization growing up, I would hate to think of how much better I would have been and how much time I would have saved. First of all, I'm not even talking about financially, that's one thing. But saving time is it means so much to me, because I could always make more money. We can always get another job, but God could bless us to go to another level, but we can't redeem time. And wasting time on foolishness in a program like this that challenges you as a young adult. Oftentimes a lot of these kids don't have a father prevalent in their home. And their mother is playing both roles, and it's hard, because I truly believe a woman could love a young man, but it's hard for her to really raise a man to be a man, and she's not as such. But just to know the direction. And then when it comes to the game of football, not life, the things that these kids are learning, man, it's unbelievable what's behind the scenes. You have a position coach at every position that actually went to the pros college or was very successful in their field. So if I would have had something like this in my youth, the sky would have been the limit.
Let's talk about the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
When you first heard the announcement, where were you, and what was the first thing?
I don't even remember where I was, honestly. To tell you, I promise you I was around some kids somewhere when I heard it. That's why I was at a football game with the kids. We were playing, and then playing in the Super Bowl, actually. So that's where I was. I was right where I wanted to be with my babies. And when I say my babies, I feel like all these kids are my babies. I treat them like they're my kids. It was exciting. I think more so for my mother than myself. I'm happy, I'm thankful, but I never got off on personal achievements and accomplishments, contrary to what popular belief says. But for my mother, with all the sacrifices she made and the misfortunes that she had to deal with, to see that you're still honored to make it to that point, that she was my biggest fan. So I'm so thankful that she played a vital role and got to experience this.
I want to go back to your playing days for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the first guys to actually have dual sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you playing that game, the baseball game, and then the football game, almost like in the same week.
Mm-hmm.
You got caught a lot of flack for that.
Right.
Why do you think people, I guess, aimed that at you?
People criticize what they don't understand. It's hard for someone to condone what they don't understand, especially when they've never fathomed it. And to catch flack was very upsetting, because I felt like I was doing an honorable thing for both teams. Let me take you back there. My football contract started in August every year. I was a football player come August. My baseball contract ended at the conclusion of July. And I believe the playoffs are in September. So me going over to play baseball at the present time was really a bonus for the Atlanta Braves, just helping out, just being there saying, I'm going to be the team guy, helping my guys. Who should have been upset was the Atlanta Falcons, which I was in football. But I wanted to honor that. I couldn't send my secondary out there against Dan Marino, was the Miami Dolphins at the time, without me. So it was a window of opportunity. You know what? Let me go do this. Let me go make sure I'm there for my guys, then I fly back, I'm there for these guys. It wasn't like I was trying to absorb media and bring attention to oneself, because I've been living this life since I was a child, playing dual sports as well as basketball. So that's why I was a little upset with the whole scenario, because I was doing something that was helping someone out and it got misconstrued.
He was one of the first guys to kind of, Jordan, he was able to take a league and put it on his back. You kind of did that with the NFL. Do you think that?
I don't know about that.
Well, as far as, a name, a face
right,
to the NFL.
Right. I mean, just bringing the flamboyance to the position of cornerback, I thank God that I was able to try to accomplish that, but it was a lot of people that helped along the way. And the game is good, man. The game was pure. The game was exciting. The game had so many different challenges. They had so many different matchups in which, as a child, I mean, to come and witness going against Jerry or Mike Irvin or some of these, Andre Rison or some of these stars, it was a matchup made in heaven. It's hard to garnish that these days.
I think back to the days when you had Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, a lot of athletes who were socially active in the community. You kind of don't see that much with today's athlete. Do you think it's their responsibility, or is it more behind the scenes? What do you think about it?
It depends on how you matured, how you grew up. Really, I grew up as a Ali fan. You got to understand, the only picture in my home of another athlete that's hanging plentifully is Muhammad Ali above my weight room. The caption says, all I did was stand for what I believed, and that's powerful. All I did was stand for what I believed. That is so powerful to me. And a lot of people are still sitting, man. They're not taking a stand because they want to be popular. They want to run with the cliques and the crowds and the ways. They want to be liked and loved and appreciated. And oftentimes when you stand for what you believe, that goes directly opposite.
So do you think it's because do you think guys
they want to be popular? They want to be liked and loved. You can't be liked and loved by anybody. I don't care what you do. Somebody's going to dislike you. Somebody's going to disdain you. Somebody's going to have hate for you. That's just a part of life. When you living for the appreciation and the hand claps of others, you're not living for God. You're living for people.
Talk about, I guess, family and fatherhood, and how that kind of helped you and changed your life. What was the greatest thing?
Oftentimes, when you see a great father, you see someone that wasn't fathered. So, and he does not want to perpetuate the cycle of pain that he had. So, I had wonderful fathers. I would be honest. My stepfather was a good man. He was there for a majority of my life, a great man, but he was yet an alcoholic. My biological father, he was probably my biggest fan, but he was a drug addict. So, I've never endeavored one of the two, neither of the two. I never smoked, never drank, stopped using profanity way back my sophomore year in college. So I learned from their mistakes. I didn't want to continue that pain, and just being there for my kids. I never heard those words, I love you, when I was a baby. And you would think, with the athletic prowess and the good grades and the strong and the strength to stay forth and steadfast, that I would have heard those words from a man, but I never did. That's why we just shower these kids with love and compassion and just thoughtfulness and trust. And the most articulate thing that we could do is give them time that we can't get back. So just being a father means so much to all our fathers, because we challenge them to go to yet another level. Know your kid's shoe size, know his clothes size, know at least 2 of his teachers that's in his class that's teaching them. It's hard to sound off of something that you don't know anything about.
A lot of these kids, they are getting to travel. And growing up, I know guys who never went past the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Talk about the importance of travel and seeing different cultures.
Traveling means exposure. Traveling means getting outside your box, looking outside your inner city, looking outside the walls. Fortunately, I was a dreamer, man. I didn't have to go anywhere to think outside the box. Nowadays, it's so wonderful that these kids have the internet, because they can live straight in the hood and travel to Africa and travel to Europe and so forth. But really tangibly being able to get on a bus or get on a plane, we've taken these kids all around the country so that when they're lured and they're attracted by the drug dealers and by a little girl who's trying to give them their goodies, they're not captured. Because they have a dream, they have a goal that they want to aspire to get to, and they know focus and dedication, determination will get them to that goal. So that's what traveling does. It just exposes not only them, it exposes their parents.
Because the parents get to go.
Their parents get to go with them, and their parents get to see things, and they get to start dreaming. They start reinvesting in their kids. That's what happened in our society. We stop investing in our babies. We start investing in ourselves. I hate to see a parent with 24s on their cars with the kids with run-down shoes. I don't like that. We try to get them to refocus, invest in your kids. Don't be upset because life didn't pan out for you the way you thought it would be. You have another opportunity right here. Invest in him and watch how he invests in you.
A lot of these kids, they love hip hop, but there's a lot of negative messages. What are your thoughts on the messages in hip hop, and how do you guys kind of try to fight against it?
It's a lot of positive as well.
Yeah.
I'm one that always focuses on the positive. We don't focus on the negative too much. We allow the negative just to be that, the negative. But if you overshower them with the positive, I think it outweighs and it outshadows the negative. Hip hop is gonna be. It's gonna be. You gotta choose. It's like you choosing food. Some kids don't like broccoli, but they got to choose what they want and what's good for them. So we never say, don't listen to this guy, don't listen to that guy. No, we just try to give you the information so you can make the best decision you can in your life.
Okay. All right. Before I let you go, the new rookies coming in, this is going to be a journey for them.
Yeah.
They don't know what's ahead of them.
Right.
What can they expect? What should they stay away from? How should they live their life?
The first thing the rookies should do is learn how to say this simple word, no. To your homies, to your family, to your friends, to your loved one, to your teammates. No. And you got to understand what's their desires and where they want to go and how they're going to navigate themselves to it. The best thing you could do is find somebody that's been there so he could give you the directions and tell you the pitfalls and trials and tribulations and trappings that he encountered on getting there to fulfill his dream. The thing about sports, there's so much diversity. What I mean by that, there's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, everything resides in those locker rooms, as well as age demographics. A young 21-year-old his locker could be right next to a 40-year-old man. And that 40-year-old man oftentimes has a family. He's settled. He's been there. Ray Lewis, for example, he's not 40, but he's sneaking up on it. To sit down with a 21-year-old kid and father him and mentor him and love him and show him the direction, that is so profound. But the problem is, they got to listen, man. They got to listen. They got to listen then and act what they're led to do. But it's so enormous. I just had a young kid, and his mother called me asking for wisdom and advice. It just went to Denver, Raheem Moore. And I told his mama, get him an apartment, don't get him a crib. Because the only thing he's gonna see his rookie year, he's gonna be so exhausted because this is a job now. By the time he get home at 6 p.m. from leaving the house at 7 a.m., he's gonna be so exhausted mentally and physically. Only thing that he's gonna encounter is the kitchen to get something to eat, the television room, and the bedroom. That's it. Get an apartment. You don't need a big house, and that's all you're gonna encounter. And if mama's coming up on the weekend, the money you saved on getting that house, you could get her a suite at any hotel, and you're gonna come out way ahead.
All right. Thanks so much for your time, brother. I think you're doing a tremendous job.
I appreciate it.
Continue the good work, and we need more brothers like you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys for coming.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.